going on, everyone? Welcome back to Sportorium podcast. Today we have a special episode. We're going to go over the Pro Bowl rosters, go over some snubs we think does deserve it, just stuff like that. So we're going to start it off with the AFC, going over the quarterbacks. So Pat Mahomes is a starter, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow. I think that's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, there's not really anybody else that could fit in there.
Yeah, obviously people are going to say Tua. He won like the fan vote or whatever, had the most votes for anybody. But I mean, no, just no.
Yeah, Josh Allen finally gets to be selected for the Pro Bowl.
Yep. Last year was ridiculous how Lamar got it over him. But this is perfect. This is what it should be. Most likely one of these three quarterbacks are not going to be there. So maybe Tua will get in after all. Or Mac Jones will get in again or something. Going to the running backs, Nick Chubb is a starter, then Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry. I'd probably have Josh Jacobs as a starter just because he's had a phenomenal year and is leading in like every category possible. But it's these three guys, though. Top three guys in the AFC, I think. Next, we got the fullback. This doesn't matter. Pat Ricard, he's so fat. They have him playing like D tackle sometimes.
I mean, fullback position kind of just disappeared in football. So
yeah, it's really weird. The only other guy that's actually like somewhat consistently used is Kyle Juszczyk, who we're gonna have to talk about later. But even then, it's kind of a lost position. So yeah, that's fine, I guess. The receivers, Tyreek and Diggs starters, and then Devontae and Jamar Chase. That's perfect to me once again. So they're the clear-cut top four guys in the AFC, I'd say. I guess you could kind of make an argument for Devontae being the starter over Diggs. He has like around the same yards. I think he has like 10 less catches, something like that, but he has more touchdowns. I think Diggs is having a better year personally.
Yeah, I think Diggs is also just more consistent. Like Devontae will have a game where he kind of just doesn't really do much, but then the next game he has like 150 yards, like 11 catches. So
yeah,
I think Diggs has been like more consistent this year.
I'd say so. Going to the tight ends, Travis Kelce, the starter, Mark Andrews behind him. Once again, it's pretty much that's perfect. There's nobody that's like really close in the AFC. And I think the first alternate is Dawson Knox, and he's not having his best year either. I think he's actually going to have statistically his best year, except for touchdowns. But I mean, still, he's at like 400 yards.
How many touchdowns does he have?
He has 4 compared to last year. He like led the league.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he's gonna have more catches. He's gonna have more yards. But like you can't even really compare it because Dawson Knox he's gonna have maybe 500, 600 yards at the end of the year. Travis Kelce's at what, 1,100?
Yeah, he'll probably
it's just a completely
like
different animal. Yeah, which is just ridiculous. He's insane, and he just got put in the Madden 99 club.
Yeah,
which you should never left. The guy's insane. And then going to offensive tackle, this is the first one where I have a problem with someone. So Laramie Tunsil and Teron Armstead are the starters, and then we have Orlando Brown in there. And even you will say that is just
he's been so bad this year. He's literally tied for first in pressures given up and with 43.
That's insane.
Like it's just like his name because like he was used to be good and he's not anymore, and it's just because of his name he gets put in.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's other guys that deserve it more than him. Like Deion Dawkins for the Bills is the first alternate. He definitely deserves it more than Orlando. Yeah. Like you're like tied for the most pressures allowed, and you're a Pro Bowler. That doesn't make sense at all.
Well, he gets paid a lot. I mean, he's going to be on a different team next year for sure.
Yeah. But that's the first one that I actually have a problem with him being there. The next group is the offensive guard position. This is another one. So Joe Bitonio, Quentin Nelson are the starters with Joe Thuney backing him up. Quentin Nelson doesn't deserve to be there.
No.
He's one of the most talented like guards or just linemen in general in the league, but he's not having a good year.
Again, it's just his name. It's kind of like Orlando Brown.
Yep. And it should be Trey Smith.
Yeah, Trey Smith's been a monster this year.
Yeah. So Trey Smith ranks 4th in pass block win rate. Quentin Nelson ranks 38th. That's terrible. That is a very big discrepancy. I mean, like you said, it's just name recognition. Quentin Nelson. You think of like good offensive guard. You don't really you think of Quentin Nelson pretty much, even though he
Yeah.
hasn't really been that way the past. Definitely this year, even last year, he's kind of regressed a little bit. But so we got centers. We got both of our centers, man. Creed Humphrey and Mitch Morse. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah. Creed Humphrey's just been like he last year and this year he's probably been like one of the best centers in the league. So
Yeah, definitely. He's an animal. And Mitch Morse is just like former Chief. He's just like a solid all around dude. I would say that maybe Tyler Linderbaum over Morse. I think Morse there is fine because he's like not many people even know him, and that's kind of a good thing when you're
yeah,
talking about linemen.
it's also like tough with like I don't know, like centers. It's like
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to really like pick out who's like that much better than somebody else.
yeah. The only really guy that everybody knows is Jason Kelsey, and that's just
Yeah.
like that's a different scenario. And then going to defensive end, got Myles Garrett and Max Crosby as the starters for the AFC with Trey Hendrickson behind them. I think that's fine. It's also weird with how they do like edge rushers. You have 6 edge rushers and only 2 linebackers.
Yeah.
Like 3 defensive ends, 3 outside linebackers, and those could be flip flopped. I mean, it's an edge rusher is what it is. It does just depends on the scheme, but I think those 3 guys they're fine.
Yeah.
Those are pretty much the clear cut like top guys. You hear them all the time. Interior D lineman, I think this is absolutely perfect the way it is. Chris Jones, Quinnen Williams, and Jeffrey Simmons. I think that other than Aaron Donald, those are the top 3 D tackles in the league.
Yeah. 100%.
Obviously, Quinnen Williams having a great year. Chris Jones has just been consistently a menace for very, very long time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like that one. And then outside linebackers, Matt Judon, Khalil Mack, TJ Watt. So this is another, we were just saying like the edge rusher thing is just so weird. First of all, Khalil Mack, it's a little sus there.
Yeah.
And even TJ Watt, he's missed a lot of time. And a guy like Alex Highsmith has looked fantastic in his absence. So I would argue that Alex Highsmith deserves it over TJ Watt. That one's tough to
Hey, Khalil Mack's kind of been a disappointment this year too.
Yeah. It was really like him, Chandler Jones, and Von Miller were the big like edge guys to in the AFC at least to really like move around. And all of those guys, except for Von, I mean, obviously he got hurt, but Khalil
Yeah, if
Mack
he
has
didn't get
been
hurt,
pretty
he probably would be
disappointing.
in.
Yeah, I think so, definitely, because he was having a very good year. But it's weird because like Matt Milano is an outside linebacker. He's not going to get in the Pro Bowl as an outside linebacker just because they use that as just edge rushers.
Yeah.
And then we'll go to the middle linebackers, inside linebackers. It's only 2 people, Roquan and CJ Mosley. And CJ Mosley does not deserve to be there. I am not sorry to say that. Tremaine Edmonds deserves to be in there. Matt Milano deserves to be in there. Nick Bolton deserves to be in there. There's some other guys. I mean, CJ Mosley's not bad. I'm not saying he's bad, but he just gets a lot of tackles. That's pretty much it. So Tremaine Edmonds ranks 6th in run stop win rate. He's rated the lowest and second lowest in yards per coverage snap allowed and total EPA allowed. I don't know what EPA is, but I mean those are good. I mean if he's ranked as the top guy or the second guy, that's saying something. CJ Mosley is not even close to that in those positions. But I mean that's another thing. You get 2 linebackers. What defense is running just 2 linebackers literally the whole entire game? It's
and like there's only one free safety also.
Yeah, the way they have it structured is just very, very weird. Going to the AFC cornerbacks, got Sauce and Pat Surtain as the starters,
Yeah,
and
I think that's
Marlon Humphrey and
perfectly fine.
Xavier Howard. The only thing I'll say is Xavier Howard, but other than
No,
that,
I was saying like
it's fine.
Sauce and Surtain starting is like
Oh yeah, those are
everyone
probably the
that's
top 2 corners in the league right now.
yeah.
I would say.
I mean, yeah,
Those 2
Marlon
at
Humphrey
least.
and Howard, I mean, they're not really having Pro Bowl years.
Definitely not Xavier Howard.
Yeah.
And a guy like Tyson Campbell, who's been great for the Jags, that's someone who probably would deserve it more than Xavier Howard. And there's probably a few other guys too. And then going to the free safety, we got Minka. That makes sense. He's
But it's
arguably
just
the
like
top safety in the league.
there's just like one free, like he's just gonna play the whole game. Like
Yeah, I think it doesn't make sense. I mean, granted, there's not a game, so it doesn't matter, but
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
whatever. And then the strong safeties, Derwin James and Jordan Poyer. I think that's fine. Jordan Poyer
Yeah.
finally gets a Pro Bowl nod. The guy's been so good for so long. He
Yeah.
was the first team All Pro last year, but didn't get selected to the Pro Bowl. I don't know how that makes sense, but
Yeah, it doesn't.
he's having a worse year this year. He's been injured, and then he gets the Pro Bowl nod. I don't know, but I mean, overall, I think it's like it's a very good roster, regardless of who got snubbed and whatever. But and then long snapper Morgan Cox, nobody cares. Tommy Townsend, punter, he's fantastic. So I think that's great. Obviously, you're gonna get Justin Tucker as the kicker. Devin Duvernay is return specialist. I think that's fine. Naheem Hines has been very good as a return specialist. I know Pacheco is leading in like the
Yeah, I think it's just, I mean, Pacheco isn't really returned that
I know.
much.
That's why it's funny that he was even
I think
up
people
there,
just
but
like him, like, because of the way he plays, but
yeah,
because obviously he's not good enough to be the running back.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
then
I mean, Tucker, I mean, like someone like Daniel Carlson, like, what's the stats? Because I know
that
Carlson started off really good.
yeah, Carlson is like amazing. He's almost automatic pretty much.
Yeah,
And I think Tucker has missed more kicks than
Tucker's
Daniel
missed a
Carlson.
few this year, which is like you don't see it that often.
Yeah.
Butker's
But
been bad. I'm trying to think of somebody else. Like,
Tyler Bass has been pretty good.
yeah, McPherson I think's been solid too.
Yeah, he's been okay. But I'd say it's pretty much Justin Tucker, Daniel Carlson, and I mean Justin Tucker's probably the greatest kicker of all time. They're not
Yeah,
gonna vote Daniel Carlson in over him. So I mean that's fine to me. It's also I literally don't care who the kicker is. You could I I don't know. You could put a quarterback, put Justin Reed as kicker. I don't care.
who's even Justin Hardy? I don't even like know who
Yeah,
that is.
I don't know. As long
What
as it's
is
not
he even
Matthew
doing?
Slater. Yeah, it's I don't
Is this a
understand the
special?
special teamer.
What
Like
does
he's
that
not a
even
return
mean?
guy. He's really just like a gunner. I don't know. That's the weirdest position for the Pro Bowl for me. But I mean, good for him, I guess. And then going over to the NFC side. So quarterbacks got Jalen Hurts, Geno Smith, and Kirk Cousins. I think that's pretty solid. The only thing that I would say is maybe Goff over Kirk. I think
I
statistically
wouldn't even
Goff
say that
is
honestly.
I mean it's close. I think it's just the fact that Goff has I think he has one less touchdown, but like four less picks. So,
Yeah, I guess.
but I mean Kirk Cousins
I think
is
it's also
definitely
just like
better.
just the record maybe of the Vikings.
That's definitely got to be part of it.
These
But
QBs are a big downgrade from the AFC though.
yeah, it's ridiculous. It just I mean even the roster as like a whole, I think
Yeah.
the AFC is just better in literally every single category. And I
Yeah,
mean
well,
I think the QB being the biggest
it
discrepancy
makes
of
sense
talent.
too. That's why the AFC is like you got so many contenders this year.
Yeah.
You just look at the people that got selected.
Yep. Pretty much. But I mean, the quarterbacks are fine. I'm fine with it. I wouldn't
Yeah.
say the only argument is you could have Goff there, but I'm completely fine with Kirk there. Then going over to running backs, Saquon is a starter, and then Tony Pollard and Miles Sanders. And this is the big one. This is the biggest snub of the year by far. This is maybe the biggest snub in a while. Christian McCaffrey not being there. I would take McCaffrey over all of those guys. He's
Yeah.
leading. I'm pretty sure he's leading all of the NFC in
Yeah, like all purpose yards.
all-purpose yards. I don't think it's the whole league, but I think he's up there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the best players at the running back
Yeah, I'd say he's
position.
like top five at least because I know Josh Jacobs is definitely above him.
Yeah,
Um,
Derrick Henry might because he's getting more
oh
pass
yeah,
catching work.
Nick Chubb, I don't know because he's not really big in the receiving aspect.
Yeah,
But
that's
I
what it
mean,
looks
yeah, I'm
like.
taking CMC over everyone, maybe except for Saquon.
Yeah,
Saquon's kind of slowing down though. Like he
yeah,
started off like on fire and then kind of started digressing. I don't know.
yeah. But I mean, Pollard's having a great year too, but I'm not taking that over what
Yeah,
Christian
no.
McCaffrey's doing. Miles Sanders, he's over 1,000 yards rushing. I think he's like top 5 in rushing. He's got a bunch of touchdowns. Not taking that over what Christian McCaffrey's doing. So that's definitely the biggest snub, I would say. Christian McCaffrey definitely deserves it. Christian McCaffrey is third in all-purpose yards. He has almost 100 more than Saquon. He has 300 more than Tony Pollard, and probably 400 something more than Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
Second in the league in receptions, second in the league in receiving yards by like 12. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I actually can't believe it. And the fact that he was leading the fan vote, that means that players and coaches voted him out. But there's another back in San Francisco that got in it, and that is the fullback, Kyle Juszczyk. I think that's fine. He's been like consistently the best fullback in the league for a long time, so
Yeah, there's only like 5 of them, so
pretty much. And going to the NFC wide receivers, got Justin Jefferson and AJ Brown as the starters, then CD and Terry McLaurin. I don't have a problem with this, but I think that there are more deserving receivers in the NFC than Terry McLaurin. One of which being Amon-Ra St. Brown. So Amon-Ra is right behind him in yards by like 40.
he missed like a game or two, right?
Yeah, he missed time. But Amon-Ra St. Brown is fourth in the league in catches. So and that's not that bad because Terry McLaurin is definitely having a great year. And he's had Carson Wentz and Taylor Heineke throwing to him. So but that's the only thing I would say is Amon-Ra St. Brown he definitely deserves it. I'm not gonna say he deserves it more than Terry, but that's right there. That's another just like nitpicky thing. But I mean, Terry McLaurin is a bigger name than Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
Tight ends got George Kittle and TJ Hawkinson. I would say TJ Hawkinson probably deserves to be the starter over Kittle, but these top two guys in the NFC pretty clearly.
Yeah, it's like a name thing again. Kittle's a bigger name.
Yeah.
He missed some games too, right?
Yeah, he missed time as usual.
Yeah,
Guy's always hurt.
that's the thing.
And going to the offensive tackles, we got Trent Williams, Lane Johnson, and Tristan Wirfs. I feel like that's completely fine too.
Yeah.
Trent Williams is a silverback gorilla playing tackle. And yeah, all the other guys been great. The only guy that I could maybe say that could get in for offensive tackle is Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas was laughed at by many people when he got chosen. Me being one of those people. But he's really blossomed this year into a very, very, very good offensive tackle. So that's another one that like I don't really care that he's not in because those other guys deserve it too, but he could probably get in there. Offensive guard, same thing. I think Chris Lindstrom deserves to be a starter over maybe Landon Dickerson, but I mean, who knows Chris Lindstrom? He was never really anything special. He's just having a really good year. Yeah, but I mean, that's another thing. Those guys are fine. They're all great. Zach Martin's been good forever. And then center, I think that's perfect too. Jason Kelsey is probably the best center in the league. Frank Ragnow is a stud. Broke his throat last year and played through it. So
that's insane.
That's one of the most wild things ever. Like I didn't even know that was an injury that you could have a broken throat. And then defensive end got Nick Bosa and Brian Burns as starters with Tank Lawrence behind him. Nick Bosa probably winning Defensive Player of the Year, either him or Micah Parsons. I think that's completely fine. These guys are studs.
Yeah, that's all kind of like what I expected it to be.
Yep. And interior D lineman, I think that's perfect. I mean, Aaron Donald's gonna get in no matter what.
Yeah.
He didn't really like do much this year.
Yeah.
He's been out a lot, but I mean it's Aaron Donald. He's gonna get in. And Dexter Lawrence is having a fantastic year. Jonathan Allen's been really good, so I expect that too, pretty much. And then next we got the outside linebackers, Micah Parsons, Darius Smith, Hassan Reddick. That's fine. Micah Parsons is obviously an animal. I feel like Zadarius Smith is kind of having like not a crazy year though. So
yeah, he's not.
I think that surprised me a little bit, but I mean he's still very good and obviously big name. And then inside linebackers, we got Fred Warner, Demario Davis. Fred Warner 100% deserves that. He's one of the best linebackers in the league pretty easily. But I feel like Demario Davis, I feel like there could have been someone better than Demario Davis.
Yeah, like I haven't really heard his name this year, I feel like.
Yeah. Like I feel like there's definitely like better NFC linebackers. Like probably Levante David, Bobby Wagner's been having a great year too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Devin White's like not having a great year, so
yeah, yeah, he definitely fell off a bit
I would say someone like
this year.
him you would expect to be there.
Yeah, but I mean, Demario Davis is definitely a beast though, so I don't hate that. But
Yeah.
another one of those like somebody probably could have got in, but it's not a big deal because those guys deserved it. And then we got cornerback, got the starters Darius Slay and Trayvon Diggs, then Tariq Woolen, Jair Alexander. Tariq Woolen should be a starter,
Yep.
100% over both of those guys. He's having a ridiculous year. And it's weird to see Ramsey here, not here, but he doesn't deserve to be here. So that's
He's
fine.
been trash this year.
It's been terrible. And I'm actually surprised that he's not here just based off like name.
His name.
Yeah. But he's been bad. Like actually bad.
Trayvon Diggs is like kind of having like a sneaky like monster year.
Yeah, because he's not giving up. He's not getting as many picks, but he's not giving up 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
He's definitely playing. I think he's having a better year than last year.
Yeah. I mean, last year he had the interceptions, obviously, like you said, but I think this year he's like a lockdown corner.
Yeah. There's definitely some times where he gets just burnt because he is trying to go for those picks, but I feel like
that's
a
like
lot
every
more.
corner. It's just like when it's him, it's like everyone likes to like meme on him and stuff.
Yeah. But he's a stud. He's one of the best corners in the league. It's kind of undeniable. We've seen more from him this year, cover wise, which was the big question last year. So that's fine. Jair Alexander is having a good year, but he is just crying like a little female. He's so annoying this year. I don't understand it. And then going to the safeties, the one free safety, we got Quandre Diggs. That's fine, I guess. And then the strong safeties, we got Buda Baker and Teleno Hufanga.
Buda Baker should not be the starter over him.
No, 100%. Hufanga's having a great year and like kind of out of nowhere.
Buda Baker, I haven't even seen him do anything this year.
I think he got a pick last week, actually. But
well, then again, Arizona is just getting torched this year. So
yeah, and I feel like that has something to do with it. Like the Niners are probably the best defense in the league, and you got the starting safety for the best defense in the league.
And he's been an animal.
Yeah, he has. Troy Jr.
Yeah, literally.
And going to the special teams, I've literally never heard of Andrew DePaula. DePaula. It's a long snapper. Nobody cares. Tress Way. Sure. Fine. Jason Myers for the kicker. He's been pretty consistent. So I think that's pretty good. And then Kevontae Turpin, 100%. Turpin's a stud. He was the MVP of whatever league he was in. And he's actually made a difference in multiple games. Jeremy Reeves. That video of what's the coach's name?
Ron Rivera.
Yeah, Ron Rivera. He's like, you made it, young man. You deserved it. Awesome video. Once again,
cool.
Nobody knows why this position is even in the Pro Bowl. But I mean, that's cool. Guy like was on a practice squad 2 years ago. Now he's a Pro Bowler. Good for him. I don't know what he's gonna do there. I don't think I don't know he existed, but before that video, I've never heard his name in my life.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't really know what a special teamer even means.
Yeah. It's just
like how do you just pick out one special teamer from each like conference?
It doesn't make sense at all. But overall, I think the rosters are pretty solid. There's a few here and there that are a little iffy. Christian McCaffrey, the biggest snub, insane big snub.
AFC will destroy them if they played a game like for real.
Yeah, 100%.
The
roster is so much better.
Imagine they play like a full like contact game.
That I would love that. I mean, it's never gonna happen, but
they should do it for like I don't know, put like something on the line. So like
if there were incentives, then people would actually play.
That'd be so sick to see that.
Yeah, but it's never gonna be like that ever again. I don't even. What are they doing? Like skills competitions,
like Madden.
Yeah. Oh my God, I hate that. I hate that so much. If they're gonna do the skills competitions, that's fine. Like I'd like to see that. Like I hope we get a like a throw off with Josh.
Yeah, they gotta add
finally.
More. They gotta like add more stuff.
Yeah, like especially this year if you're not gonna have the game.
Like some of the stuff is kind of just like corny to me too. Like that thing where they like do like a trick catch. Like
yeah, that was kind of silly.
I don't really like that. I'd rather them just do like I don't know.
Like the gauntlet of catches is cool.
Yeah, like where they like dive, they have to like dive, make a diving
Yeah.
catch and like a toe tap, like
Yeah.
all that stuff. That's
All
cool.
all those skills competitions are cooler. Even like the quarterback ones where you have like the targets and everything.
Yeah,
Like
I
I
like
like those.
they didn't do that last year, right?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. But they're weird with it. Like those everybody likes those. I don't think there's a single person who doesn't like those skills
Yeah.
competitions. And like back in the day when it was, I think that it should be like back in Hawaii, like it used to be,
Yeah, that was
and it should
cool.
have all that stuff. Because like they used to have a throwing competition back in the day. I don't know why
I like
they
the
stopped doing
I
that.
like the dodgeball too. Like just kind of like stuff like that is cool.
Dodgeball is fun. If they're gonna do like that, other sports like softball or something, just
Yeah.
to see these guys like actually doing something.
Like kickball or
It's
something like that.
yeah, so just something that like you wouldn't expect. Like I would love to see Josh Allen play kickball. Like that's hilarious.
And yeah, like last year they did like the race and like Tyree came in like last, but like
Yeah, he was jogging for some reason, but I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see what they're gonna do, just because they have to do something like major, considering there's no game.
yeah.
But it's gonna be weird if they do something. I hate the Madden stuff. I hate the video game
Yeah, that's just
aspect of it.
stupid. No one wants to watch that. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I didn't want. The only thing that I watched was I was it like 2 years ago, and like Jamal Adams was screaming, and his mic was like
Yeah, I
ridiculous.
saw like clips of it, but I would
Yeah,
never
I wasn't
I'm not
watching it.
sitting down watching people play Madden.
Yeah,
I'd rather just go on Twitch and watch like MMG play or like
yeah, it's somebody who's actually entertaining and will play the game like they know what's going on. And then we got the coaches of Eli and Peyton. Like that'd be so cool to have an actual game with these players and Peyton and Eli actually coaching against each other.
I guess like it kind of makes sense. They don't want to just get it. That's why you have to put something on the line, like where like
Yeah,
there's money involved or like you something.
something. Because people aren't gonna if it's a completely meaningless game, nobody's gonna like risk getting injured for that. So that's why I'm kind of like I'm fine with them doing whatever they're gonna do.
Yeah,
But they just need to
because
make
the
it
game's
good.
just like stupid at that point. Because it's like
Yeah, it was unwatchable for the past couple of years.
they just kind of just like there's so many interceptions. The quarterbacks just throw the ball because they don't really care.
Yeah, and then tackling is literally just hug somebody.
Yeah, you're not gonna like just full on like hit stick somebody because it's stupid. But
Yeah, I hope they do something like a flag football. Like that'd be cool. Because like it's still guys
yeah, because you
playing
can still go
football.
hard and like you're not like you don't have to hit anybody. There's not like contact, but
Yeah, I think that would be awesome, and I hope they do something like that. But we'll see. I guess we'll see what those special teamers are gonna do when they're playing flag football. But yeah, that covers it. I suppose. Hope you guys enjoyed. Till next time.
see ya.